危機周到流アシュラさっき見た鬼神気迫でここまで幻を見せるか斬撃を切り替えた避難上等好む者なり修羅の道アシュラ一無限
Okay, so in the latest chapter of One Piece chapter 1023, we saw that beautiful exchange between Zoro and King. But in this video, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Well, at least not technically, is I'll be talking about what I think Zoro might learn during his fight with King, or it's something that will be addressed later, maybe when Zoro learns more about Shimotsuki, Ryuma, and Ushimaru. Now, about Zoro's Asura, I assume most of us are probably confused and mind-boggled about how it works, what fuels it, and how much of a boost it really is. But I might know something that'll help clear the confusion. The subscribe button and also the like button will help you predict future things in for the story, and for those who think they know its mechanisms and how Asura works, you can comment in the comment section down below. Okay, now I'll be delving into Asura, not necessarily what I postulate it could be, but more so how powerful it is and what I think this form is lacking and how massive of a boost it could be, assuming that this form really does suffer from this. So first off, this is something that immediately came to my mind reading chapter 1023 with a dialogue between Kawamatsu and Yogoro talking about how Zoro is the spitting image of Ushimaru and basically Ryuma. They said that everything about Zoro's swordsmanship is also exactly the same as Shimotsuki Ushimaru. Now, the main thing that I thought about was, of course, Asura. Now, with these guys, Ushimaru and particularly Ryuma, it has been confirmed to have also had one eye just like Zoro. We don't know if either of them tried the three sword style. But what I think could be common in the Shimotsuki clan, well, from Zoro's lineage, right, could be this Asura form. I think that Asura is a Shimotsuki thing. And I think this is possible, especially with Ryuma's epithet as being the sword god, right? Now, this could just be a title because of his magnificent swordsmanship, which would have been more likely the case, but it could also be because of a certain technique of his, a certain form that he could assume once his swordplay is at its peak. Maybe Ryuma had a god form of some sorts that manifested his fighting spirit just like Zoro's Asura. And maybe even Ushimaru reached this level, which I hope he had used before in front of Yogoro or something, if this turns out to be the case. So we could get some kind of dialogue with Zoro and Yogoro, or potentially some sword that will help Zoro in perfecting Asura, which leads me to the next part of this discussion on how powerful it actually is. Now, for this one, I've seen some arguments going around about how Zoro penetrating Kaido's skin is the same or maybe even better than Oden, because the assumption is that Kaido got stronger, right? But I don't believe that's the case, well, at least in terms of his skin. Yes, his skin. Because if people say that Kaido's skin got tougher, then I think a gauge on by how much it changed would be essential, because I don't think anyone out there is willing to say the scabbards are comparable to Oden back then when he was at his peak, because they were able to cut Kaido. whose skin has presumably got stronger than before. So I mean, personally, I'm not willing to scale up the scabbards to that point where I'm comfortable saying that they are almost maybe relative to Odin when back then when it was at his peak, right? But the point is, I don't think Kaido's skin changed that much at all. It could be insignificant in fact, but I do agree that he could have gotten stronger in terms of his attacks, haki, and all that, right? So let's compare Odin's attack to Zoro's to kind of gauge how potent it could be. When Odin slashed Kaido, he went through a blast breath and onto cutting Kaido. But we still see that Kaido was still raring to go after he reverted to human form. But so was Odin. The same thing happened with Zoro, except Zoro collapsed right after, maybe perhaps due to his injuries from tanking the Yonko combination, right? But we see the main thing here is that Zoro's in Asura form, and this is him going all out, right? But for Odin, it's nothing like that. It was just him using a technique with all his power, and for his case, he could have probably done this several more times in the fight, meaning he's at this level all the time. Now comparing this with Zoro, he needs Asura to be at this level as well. But my concern is about how long can Zoro actually maintain this form. This is what I think Zoro will learn either in his fight with King, which I think is unlikely because I don't think he'll be needing it, right? Or after the fight when Zoro actually learns about the Shimotsuki and the backstory, and we might get a backstory with Zoro and how exactly he is connected to Ryuma and Ushimaru. So to summarize this, I think if Asura is just a one-time thing, as we've seen most of the times he's using it, it's in a short moment. It's a short moment move, right? Then he has to be able to maintain it longer to stay at that level, that near Yonko level, right? Because I think going onwards, potentially in his fight with Mihawk, he will need to do this. But it could also be because when Zoro does use it, it's at that last moment when he's sustained a lot of damage. So he can't go on for longer in this form. So if that's the case, then I think maybe when he's still fresh, he may be able to use it for a longer extended period of time. But who knows, maybe Zoro's actually gonna pull something much stronger than this, than Asura, of course, when he does learn about the Shimotsuki, or when he's training to fight Mihawk, right? Now, of course, this is all just speculation, bringing all sorts of possibilities to the table on how things might be going forward. But I'd like to know what you think in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about Zoro's Asura? How strong is it? Just let me know. But yeah, subscribe, like, and share. And yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.